Hi everyone, it's John Mitchell and welcome to the next video. We're continuing on with the internal environment and today we are looking at policy and policy development. Firstly, policy is a set of broad guidelines to be followed by all employees when dealing with an important area of decision making and action. So really what it does, it's just telling employees and managers what they need to do and what they need to adhere to when they're conducting some kind of activity. Policies are often created by senior managers, yet these days it's becoming more common that employees are involved in the creation of policies. Because the reason for that is because they're often the ones that are impacted. So they're the ones that have to carry out the policy. Also, a policy is normally developed because of some kind of problem or to prevent some kind of problem. And the employees may have better knowledge of that particular problem that's occurred because they're dealing with it day to day. And a procedure is a practical way of putting a policy into action. So what it is the step-by-step process that needs to be followed in order for a policy to be carried out, and also the steps that need to be followed if a policy is breached. So, what do you need to go through when a policy is breached? Now, policy process, there's no specific policy process in the study design. However, it does mention policy development in the study design, so we need to know some kind of process. We use the acronym PACTRM. As I said to you in earlier videos, we love our acronyms in business management, and so we use PACTRM, and it's worked really well in the past for students to remember what it is. So the P stands for problem, where we identify the problem. We then analyse and research the business environments, and that may involve looking at similar organisations or organisations that have implemented a similar policy to see, how they've gone about things, etc. We then consult with key stakeholders. Now, the key stakeholders are those that are going to be impacted by the policy in terms of implementing it or, affected by it some way. We then draft a policy, so we put together an actual policy, and then the next step is to review that policy and make any adjustments. So we might take it back to the stakeholders and say, look, this is what we've drafted based on what you've told us. What do you think? Give us some feedback and then make any adjustments necessary. Then the policy needs to be approved by senior management, and then it's obviously implemented. And when it's implemented, again, we monitor the results to see if it has solved the problem. And if it hasn't, we make some adjustments. And if it has, that's all well and good. So that is a policy development process. It's very long, I understand, but that's why we use that acronym PACTRM, and it really has worked well in the past. So for activities, questions, and more on this topic, then come on over to teachingbubble.com.